Hey, I'm Birdman.
I'm Bruce.
Time to get on target at
The Hub.
How you doing, Bruce?
Here we are.
Yay.
Another Hubber day. In the cage.
In the cage. We got something cool today?
Yeah, we'll do a quick review on another used gun. Point of the used gun today.
Yeah.
Some people said, actually a couple of people asked me my thoughts on Smith & Wesson M&Ps, and that's what we'll talk about today. It's an M&P 9. And then I thought back that actually I'm a Smith & Wesson armorer.
Oh yeah, that's right. You went through the class, and then it took you
couple years ago.
Look, a year and a half to get your gun at a special price.
But it's nothing to do with the actual gun, though. Actually, pretty nice. I think we've neglected Smiths a little bit.
Yeah.
We haven't on their wheel guns or their real guns.
No, yeah.
But we have in their semis, semi-automatics. So I thought we'd talk about this today a little bit and shoot it.
This is one of the old. This is a used one, huh?
Yeah, it's a used one. Point of the used gun, of course, M&P 9. Let's quickly shoot it.
Take a look at that.
Okay, so it shoots. And now it's got some different adjustments on the grips and stuff. Let me talk a little bit about this. It's got a stainless slide and coated with whatever their coating is that works really well.
Over here.
It's a pretty nice little, if we get it in the right spot.
Yep, we gotta move over here.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong spot. Got to look
okay.
right there. Anyway, we've already safety checked it. Let's talk about it a little bit. I like this back grip panel here. As you know, they come with, I think there's 3 of them in the box.
Yep.
And this one, I believe, is a medium one. There's one slightly smaller, and then there's one slightly larger.
Yeah, and it's
I probably
pretty easy
could
to
have
come
used
out.
a slightly larger one. I don't think I've shot one of those in a long time. These are 17-round magazines, of course.
These come out just like
and they're also treated, and then the back comes off. Yeah. You've had one of those before. Do you have one?
I've had one of these. So the funny thing is I had these. I had quite a few of these, and migrated from this to Glock because of a couple different things. It was interesting. One was the fact that to change any of the trigger stuff or mess around with that, this one, to take the rear sight off, you have to take the rear sight off to get to the plunger.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do that on a Glock. It makes it a lot easier to change. The sights, I mean, they have sights availability like Glock does as far as that goes.
It's more of a grip angle of a 1911.
It is.
So, but of course, I started out with Glocks first because that's what the only strikers that were. Except
Amazon doesn't want Echo doesn't like you.
okay, well, they're not on Echo today. And is that worse on my phone?
You said something right. Echo, stop. We'll shut Echo up.
Whoa, that's kind of cool.
She just wanted.
I got to go in the 21st century or 22nd
Yeah,
century.
they're always listening.
Whatever I'm in, they're always listening.
We're not worried about it.
So getting back to this, I started out with the Glock, so they're a striker to me. It's a striker gun, and everything else is, it's not a copy. They've got some differences in how they build theirs, but it's a great gun. It works good. We've sold a lot of them over the years. A lot of police departments went to these, and I think I'd like them slightly more than Springfield. But I mean, they're all good. They all work.
This is the original version. Love the serrations on the back.
Yeah.
This was really good for grip. It made it really nice to be able to grab this and rack it. The trigger was an issue, and then you could upgrade the trigger. But like I said, once you did that, you had the issue with trying to do this. They came out with a 2.0 version.
Yeah.
But where are you at with this on the?
Let's get some scores. Of course, it's standard med. Of course, is a 10. We're gonna. Give an experience level as we do on semi-automatics 5 to 10.
Okay.
We'll give this one a 7. I'll give it 1 point over the Glock. Besides, some people like this grip much better. I let people swear by this over a Glock. I kind of in the middle for me. I do like the grip, but maybe slightly better. I like the way this takes down. It's slightly easier than having to do the trick with the Glock. And sometimes my finger's a little stiff or something. It's hard for me to get some of those pins down. This one is pretty simple. You just go forward. Excuse me.
You actually, you take this guy, flip it back.
Yeah. Now, in order to this is when they first came out with this, and then in order to let it down, they came out with theirs that you did not have to pull the trigger to remove the slide. So there's this little right in the back. You notice?
Yeah. There is this
pull
little
that down, and it comes
pull down.
Out.
And that was what you actually used this guy here for. You take this off. They gave this to you to
you can do
use as a
you
tool
can use end of a pencil
to shove down in to do it. But you could do it with a pencil. But
So that was a selling point.
Yeah.
You don't have to pull the trigger. I'm hopefully everybody's checking their guns and make sure they're unloaded before they take them apart.
That was always an odd thing to me that somebody would even shoot themselves with a gun that they should have checked before they did anything with.
Yeah.
And then that locks back in easy. Yeah.
No, so in a way, once you get used to that, and just pull the trigger like you do with a Glock,
right.
and it comes apart really quick. So I give it a little bit of grade on that. So it gets a 7 for the 5 to 10. And the only reason it gets a 7 and not much better because it does not have an external safety. Not that we need to have one. We have our trigger, of course.
Right.
But it still has drop safeties and things.
Yeah.
So you're limited more on the type of holsters and stuff. It should never go in a coat or something like that. Or a person, anything without protection.
And they did their little the drop safety here a little bit different. They hinged this piece instead of putting a blade in the middle. And once again, this is just an inertia stop, so that this trigger won't go all the way back from inertia. It has nothing to do with your finger. It has to do with inertia.
And this is one of those we give a high grade to. You know, we like the Springfields, we like the Glocks, we like the M&Ps. For strikers, they're some of the best you can buy. So standard met, we'll give it a 10. We only shot it 10 times. Shootability, 10. Power factor is 8 again. We argue back and forth on 9 mil. Ammo cost, we'll give it a 10 because it's the cheapest ammo you can buy now.
Right.
I'm not sure what's going to happen now with some of the companies stopping to sell pistol ammo, but
That's going to be interesting.
that'd be interesting.
We'll talk about that
we
at
need
the
to
end
talk about
here.
that another time.
Yeah.
Selling for $450. It's sold new for $599.
That's actually a pretty good
this is
hold on value.
But it's really going to be a good hold now because this is a nice gun.
Yeah.
I think you're not going to have a problem with it. So we're going to give it a 10 on this value. Resale value, we're going to give it a 9, only because we're not sure how long the strikers are going to. It's not like you can't put a 10 like you would on a stainless revolver or something. Function reliability, of course, for the simple 10 rounds. Intuitive safe handling, finger off the trigger, just like a Glock. Of course, it's a 10. Pretty simple to realize how to work your finger. Carry options an 8 again, because again, there's some holsters we have to use.
Yep.
We can't give it a 9 or 10. Our retail new is $5.99, so we're going to get this. Anyway, it gets a 95 score, 100% value. So some of these used guns, people that haven't looked at used guns, we sell a lot of used guns. Excuse me, they need to take a look at those.
So,
M&P,
9mm.
and we put a category of CCW and home.
And this size
also
for
be
this one, the
cars.
size for this one, what's the barrel length on this one? Do
I
you
think
know?
it's 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just a standard size.
That's the
They
standard
make the
size.
long slide. That's what we got at the armorer's class. That's the one that Frank was carrying. He got from the armor. He still has his.
Right.
The longer barrel, which I really liked, longer sight radius. A little more accurate if you're going to be playing into the competitive games and stuff like that. But overall, a nice gun. So we're going to give it a 95.
And it's available here at the hub in Lakeside right now.
And actually it has, I think, 2 mags in the original box.
Very cool. Awesome. Hey, one quick note, because you mentioned it, you know, some of the competitors have decided they're not going to carry, or they're not going to be competitors anymore. And that's not that big a deal. I don't think so.
I don't. And I was reading an article this morning about the reason for doing that.
Yeah.
Of course, Walmart. They weren't selling the handguns anywhere except still Alaska.
Right.
And so that didn't really hurt them that much to do that. And they do sell a lot of guns and ammo and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think they're third in the country or something.
That's
like
crazy.
That. They're crazy how much they do. But they're looking at, we have to be, you know, as good disciples of
Good stewards
CCW holders.
of gun ownership. But not,
You and I have always talked back and forth, and I have arguments. Not that I want to argue with people about the constitutional carry or the open carry thing, and how much I'm not comfortable with it.
Right.
I think it doesn't help our cause. And when you think of the very little amount of people that, percentage-wise, that actually own guns, I think we said 23 or 25% of the total population own guns. Out of those, they own like 7. So somebody may own 1, somebody owns 100.
Right.
But there's 400 million guns here. But the percentage of the population is very small. So there's little things we can do to make it better. Now we try to get new people shooting all the time and move them into the CCW, so that and then having your guns hidden. They didn't say anything like that in Walmart about carrying if you carried a concealed gun.
No,
they
said they would ask that the customers not carry open.
And because of the problems they've had with people walking in a couple of their stores, I guess police were called.
Yeah.
People take things out of
context, and
they jump out of proportion.
There's raised anxiety, so it's not that big a deal to me.
I think we need to step back just a second. But anyway, getting back to the decision, they based it on their overall business.
Right.
Now we weren't going to talk about this today, but we talked before about Dick's Sporting Goods.
Yeah.
The thing, and I think they stopped it in those test stores at 90.
So Dick's really did it as a political statement. I mean, it really came out as a political statement.
Except now they
Walmart did it and just did it, and they did it so everybody knew that they were doing it. they look, they've got to deal with a lot of different type of customers.
And they
one thing that kind of got me was that the news put it out as they've banned ammo. And I'm like, they didn't ban ammo. They just went, we're going to stop selling this. That's not a ban.
They're going to stop selling handgun ammo per se.
Yeah.
Probably still sell 22, which would be handgun. But getting back to Vicks quickly, they did it, I think, in a test of 70 stores. And they found out that they make more money doing it. And so now they're thinking about doing it in more stores, another 100 or something. But they're a business. Remember we used to talk before, and there's been businesses even on this mountain, that broke the cardinal rule, which is you never take a side, whether it, in the old days it was two parties, mostly Democrat or Republican.
Right.
And you wouldn't, since it's basically a split country, very close to being split,
is,
60-40 or 55-45 or 50-50, you wouldn't alienate 45% of the people by saying something derogatory about the party.
You wouldn't think that, yeah.
And we've already seen places, you and I know we're talking about this. I think you want to keep politics out of business.
Yeah.
And that's probably the reason that they should do that from a good business standpoint. They're not making a political statement, and maybe us as good stewards should probably make our political statements, I'm not saying not as vocal, I'm saying we all talk about it.
Yeah.
But by having your gun out, hanging out, going someplace, making a point, is that as good as trying to help people learn to shoot, get them into training classes, get them into CCW?
Right.
And in this state, this is what we didn't understand. You don't need a permit to carry concealed.
Right.
So they're doing it for basically a.
Hey, they just made nunchucks legal in Arizona, but I don't think you should be running around and waving them in traffic.
Yeah, we were talking about that the other day about ARs and stuff in public, and people argue for that because they have a constitutional right.
Sure.
But we have to be careful about how we push some things.
Actually, they have a right that's protected by the Constitution,
Right.
not a constitutional right.
they-
I always kind of make that. We've sort of muddied that a lot, so I want to make sure people understand it's a right, and it's protected by the Constitution. The Constitution tells the government you can't infringe it, even though they've tried a lot.
Yes.
Cool.
So
Awesome.
what the answer is, we just do our best, and like what we do, we turn more people on every month, and we're looking for not the silent majority, but we're looking for more and more people that want to carry and want to keep our rights, help us keep our rights.
Hey, I'm Birdman.
And I'm Bruce, and you be safe. Hello?
Hey, I'm Bird. Nope. Hey, what? Tell them.
Subscribe. We're going.
That's it?
Thank you.
Oh, okay, cool.